Hey, what's going on, guys? Alright, so I have to apologize ahead of time for this movie review. I was sick this past week, and so I'm just now starting to kind of come out of it. I've been sick for like the last 5 days. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I have sexy man voice right now. Actually, I kind of have Tom Hardy voice, right? Because this is kind of how Tom Hardy always talks. Oh yeah, yeah, no. Sorry, he's doing his Mad Max impression. But yeah, The Revenant. This was a really cool movie. The story is set in the 1800s, and you have what, from what I remember from my history classes in 6th grade, the frontier. And you have all these problems that they encounter, very aggressive, very dangerous tribes, and rightly so, because they see people, in this light as impeding on their land and stealing from them. And that's one tiny aspect of this movie. The director really gives you a good glimpse as to how damn difficult life must have been for these people. I mean, it is visceral, it is gruesome. From the rumors and the hype that are surrounding this movie, they filmed everything in natural light. And so this is going to look awesome, and it already looks great, so I'm sucked in. But I wasn't expecting this movie to be like a Last of the Mohicans type, movie. And that's really what it feels like. It feels kind of like a blend between The Last Mohicans and Dances with Wolves. Beautiful cinematography, very interesting story, very interesting characters, where you see the snow, you see the forest, you see the mountains, you see the lake. Leonardo DiCaprio's character, I'm going to have to admit, I myself am not a big Leonardo DiCaprio fan. This movie kind of changes all of that for me, because while I'm watching this movie, I don't see Leonardo DiCaprio. I see a frontiersman, a scout, and it was awesome. It was a phenomenal performance. He doesn't have a lot of dialogue in this movie. In the trailers you see that he has a son, and his son is murdered, supposedly by Tom Hardy's character, and he's plotting this thing for revenge. And so he speaks back and forth to his son, very little in English. He speaks very little to anybody else throughout the entire movie. It's mostly him just growing out his beard and eating dead animals and trying to survive. It couldn't have been easy, right? I'm looking at some of these shots that they got, and they're uncut. And when I say uncut, it means they roll the camera, they say action, they go, and they literally don't stop the camera. They don't cut for a long time, and there's these moments where you're just like, this is still the same shot. They haven't cut filming for a very long time, and he is just acting and acting. And I think it was something they had to do because they're using natural light. So they have a certain time of the day that they're going for, and they only have a certain amount of maybe hours where this light is going to continue to be here. So they have to get all of this in one shot. It has to be done. Otherwise, they got to come back tomorrow and do the shit all over again. Tom Hardy's character. Now, again, I'm not a huge Tom Hardy fan. This movie, again, changes things for Tom Hardy because he plays an asshole in this movie. Like, he is a beta male who wants to be the alpha male, so he's very aggressive, he's very, I know what's best, you should do what I say, but unfortunately, he's not smart enough to be the alpha male in this world. And it's evident because he's tried to, he's a slimy guy, he's all about for himself. Whatever he has to do to survive, whatever he has to do to make his money, Tom Hardy, I think, sells it just a little bit more in this movie than Leonardo DiCaprio does. He just very, by a small margin, outacts Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie. So you really hate his character for the right reasons. It's a revenge story. All of this stuff kind of just happening all at once. But the way this movie was filmed, the cinematography, the beautiful shots, the acting was the best part of this whole movie. Some of the negatives of The Revenant. There are negatives. First negative of this movie is the CG. Most of the animals and the wildlife in this movie are CG. It's not bad CG. It just takes you out of the movie. You're sitting there watching this beautiful snowy landscape, and then you see some CG element in the backdrop, and you're like, okay, that doesn't really fit. It took me out of the movie. It was bad. It really was. It didn't fit. It didn't really work. Second negative of The Revenant, and it's not even really a shot against the movie. Now, casting Leonardo DiCaprio in this role, he plays this role in other movies. You've seen this guy. You've seen this type of character where It's a man who's dealing with loss. And it reminds me a lot of Inception, when he's dealing with, the loss of his wife, and then the movie The Island, where he also is dealing with the loss of his wife. And now you have this movie where he's dealing with the loss of, you don't really know if it's a wife, if it's a friend, if it's, someone just that's very close to him. But he's dealing with that. And the movie kind of takes you out of where you are to show these very surreal dreams or nightmares that he's having of this person that he lost. It just takes you out of the movie. Overall, I can say that The Revenant definitely deserves the critical acclaim it's getting. That's one of the main reasons why I chose to go out and see it. Not just so that I could do a movie review. I mean, I like to go see movies that I think are going to be interesting and they're going to be worth my time, worth my money. I'm not a professional movie reviewer. I'm just some jerk here with a camera talking to you guys and giving my opinions on some of these movies that I get to see. I'm very happy to say it's a great movie, it's a great film. I hope that this sets a new bar for future movies. I can't wait to go, get it on Blu-ray. Alright guys, thanks a lot, and if you like this, subscribe. If you don't, subscribe anyway, and if you really don't, leave me a comment, and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Alright, thanks guys. Later.